Hi, welcome. We're here with Zoom Around Town with Jaimi Jansen, and I'm here with Kamala, and she is the owner of Fybr Bamboo, a boutique eco-friendly bamboo apparel and bedding and gift shop in downtown Santa Cruz at 1528 Pacific Avenue. So welcome. Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is Fybr Bamboo? What is your shop?
So Fybr is a little boutique downtown Santa Cruz on Pacific Avenue, and our focus is eco-friendly bamboo apparel and bedding, but we also have gifts. We focus on eco-friendly and social good. All of our products have a story behind it, whether it's sustainable, supports local makers, women-owned businesses, upcycled materials. Basically everything in our shop has some kind of story behind it so that the shopper can feel like they're getting quality products, but also doing something good.
That's amazing. And how long have you been around?
We opened in May of 2018, so just coming up on our 2-year anniversary from our opening.
That's awesome. And what inspired you to start a shop like this?
I didn't actually have any retail background. So this was just like an entirely new career path for me. My background was in web and graphic design, and I had kind of been searching for my next big project in life. And I really wanted to do something that had to do something that would enable me to be involved with the community, something that felt like rewarding, like I'm doing good for the planet, something that just brings joy and really could connect people. I discovered bamboo apparel, and it was amazing. It's incredibly soft. And then when I started to shop for more of it and learn more about it, I became more educated on the benefits of bamboo, and it just sort of grew from there. And at some point I thought, this could potentially be that big project that I had been looking for. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it started. And it's really kind of blossomed and evolved. And I've had basically, a master's education in business by jumping into the fire, basically. So yeah, it's been really cool.
Isn't that interesting how, you could have gone to school and gotten that master's in business, but nothing could prepare you for the actual real world experience. And I think that is like tenfold as effective as sitting behind a book or a computer.
Absolutely. I mean, I've learned so much, and I really am someone that learns by doing. And, there's nothing like just real life practical education.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you like being in the location that you're in on 1528 Pacific Avenue?
Well, I really love our little spot. Downtown Santa Cruz has its challenges, and but I've been in Santa Cruz for 24 years, and it's my home. And I've been a visitor of downtown Santa Cruz over this period of time, and I just really feel the sense of love and loyalty to Santa Cruz, and bringing the shop to downtown Santa Cruz actually felt like something to just, bring more excitement to downtown and bring families and people down there more. And our block I love our block. It's kind of an up and comer. There's a lot of really great stuff that's been happening over there. Some new shops and restaurants that have come in the last 2 years just since I've been there, as well as some new shops that I know are coming in down the road. So yeah, I really enjoy it.
Awesome. So can you tell me, we're going to ask you a few just random questions to kind of get to know you a little bit better. So let's say it's 2050, 30 years from now, and you wake up and you're getting your day going. What would you Google? What do you think you'd Google?
2050, what I would be Googling?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Probably the newest, what are those, like hover cars?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, like the newest model with all the bells and whistles, and I'd probably be like dreaming of having that one, even though I couldn't.
And tell me, what is something that we don't know about you, but maybe we should know? An interesting fun fact.
An interesting fun fact. I was raised a vegetarian.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how long were you vegetarian for?
Is that fun? I don't know. Well, I still am mostly a vegetarian. I do eat fish occasionally.
Awesome. Well, that's a long time being a vegetarian. I grew up as a vegetarian myself as well.
Cool.
So what is maybe your favorite product in your shop, or one of the things that you really love to showcase lately?
Okay, favorite product in the shop. It really changes by the day, but I can say I use products in my shop on a daily basis. Probably the first thing that pops into my mind would be bamboo sheets. They're so soft and comfortable. They're temperature regulating and moisture wicking. So sorry, there was somebody talking near it.
Okay.
And so sliding into bed every night is just like pure joy. And I feel silly saying it, because I feel like it sounds like such almost an exaggeration, but it's real. Lately they've been popular because I feel people are wanting, with staying home, people are wanting to be comfortable at home. So it's been kind of a popular item lately. Another product that I really love that I enjoy on a daily basis is my pillow. I have a side sleeper pillow that has this great little cutout that has a space for my shoulder to sleep. And so between my bamboo sheets and my pillow, I just kind of snuggle right into bed, and it's like, just brings me this little spark of joy when I end my day. And then besides that, the apparel, I would say like the underwear, like as far as the things that I really get the most use out of, like the underwear are just super comfy and basic, and socks, like those are the things that I consistently just pull out of my drawer and use like every day. I mean, I could go on and on. We have so many products that I love, but I'll just.
So is everything bamboo, or just some stuff? Like how is the whole shop bamboo?
So apparel wise, yes.
Wow.
We have baby, athletic, leggings, underwear, bedding, so many things. And then we've got, as far as sheets go, we also have Tencel, which our Tencel is from eucalyptus trees, also a natural fiber and eco-friendly. So the idea of Fybr, so we're Fybr Bamboo, but I do refer to it as Fybr because it's really about alternative fibers and about kind of new technology in sustainable materials. So we're always looking at some, I haven't brought in any hemp yet, but it's something I've considered, and I will, I'll continue to kind of like look at alternative fibers that offer some sort of like high performance properties while also being like extremely comfortable. The thing about bamboo with athletic wear is, or bedding or anything, is it's odor resistant, it's moisture wicking, extremely soft, breathable. So like say for like workout leggings, you're gonna have that high performance while also being soft and breathable and not feeling like plasticky.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then we have, a lot of our gift items are not necessarily made of bamboo, but they might have some other story behind them. Like, for example, these handbags that are made out of upcycled fish netting, or other bags that are made out of recycled pieces of billboard vinyl, and they're really bright. They're all one of a kind, and they're like pretty colors that basically are really unique because every billboard is different. And it's also making it so that this billboard vinyl is not ending up in landfills. So yeah, so if it's not bamboo, then it's got a story behind it that's good for us or good for the planet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So with what's going on in the universe now and how we've got a shelter in place order that's now been 6 weeks, how has that affected your shop?
So we have been closed for 6 weeks, and we are doing some e-commerce. Like, fortunately, I did have our e-commerce site going, but very minimally. So I've been able to ramp that up a little bit. And, it's funny because it's definitely like the e-commerce and the social media marketing are kind of the two things that were like on my list that were nagging at me that I just never seemed to find the time for. And now, I've got the time. So I'm doing that. Unfortunately, our entire staff, except for myself, are sitting home. And, there's just not work for all of us. So I've been just full-time running our e-commerce site and our social media marketing, and then fulfilling orders. I'm doing shipping, store pickup, curbside, and it's just been kind of, experimental, really, like, okay, let's try, store pickup and see, kind of figure it out. And that those also were on my list. Like, in my mind, I thought, oh, we should do curbside pickup. Like, we should do this, we should do that. So it's actually an opportunity for me to sort of like, kind of develop these ideas that I had before, but I didn't really have time to get to. Yeah, there was something else, but no, I lost that thought. It'll come back. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're super excited to be here with Kamala and her shop, Fybr Bamboo. So just 1 minute, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're here with Kamala of Fybr Bamboo, located downtown at 1528 Pacific Avenue. Before the break, we were talking about how her shop and life has changed in the last 6 weeks with doing curbside pickup and getting more engaged on social media and e-commerce. So have you been super productive, or do you have little people at home that are making it challenging, or how has it been for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's mixed. I have medium people at home that make it semi-challenging. Yeah, no, my kids are teenagers, so they really are, they're actually at a pretty good place to be fairly self-sufficient with their schooling, which, thank goodness, because I really don't enjoy being in the role of teacher for my kids. So they're home every day working on we kind of are trying to, set up some sort of routine where they wake up in the morning and we all kind of just start have breakfast, we start our day and get to work on school. And, it does require some, kind of checking in and involvement on my part, but I'm at least not having to be like, kind of just like fully engaged on that. I can kind of work side by side. More than having to be like directly involved in, every assignment that they're working on. So, I'm so grateful for that. And it, so it's just really like it's really like a blend. I feel that I'm getting an opportunity to really slow down and really listen to my, kind of my body and my soul, as far as if I need to take so here's the thing, is work doesn't ever turn off for me. Like anybody who has a business is going to relate to this, but it's always on. It's oftentimes the first thing I think about when I wake up and the last thing I think about when I go to bed. So you can't even put a number on the amount of hours, and time and energy invested in running a business. But I will say, like, one of the beautiful things about this process has been that I've been able to slow down enough and get out of the fire enough, because I really just dove into a fire the last, really 3 years working on this project. And I've been able to separate from that enough by having this little pause that I actually can hear my body and soul speaking to me. It was just
take
like
a rest, stop moving, go to sleep.
I had sort of like begun to tolerate like a very high stress level, and it was eating me up in a lot of ways. So I've actually been able to pull back to where I can recognize it. Like I have this higher, like my tolerance of it has gone down for stress. And so I have this more acute awareness of it. And so while I still continue to think about fiber constantly and am almost always doing something to benefit fiber, I also am listening to those internal voices that go, it's time to step back. It's time to take a rest. It's time to take a break. And that thing can wait. And nothing is, very few things are really urgent.
Right.
And that's the hard thing for me, is like I get an idea and I want to just rush to do it, or I start to go, we haven't gotten any sales in a few days or whatever amount of time, and I need to go like step on the gas and like keep this machine moving. But I'm kind of just giving myself permission to like just step back and breathe. And if I just feel in my soul that it's time to not work, then like just take a break and have some faith that the work, the work's going to always be there, and I can always go back to it.
Yeah, it's never ending. When you think, I mean, that's one thing I had to realize and learn, is that to-do list is never ending. So I put 5 things on my to-do list and I'm like, okay, once I get those done, I have this, like, I move them and I have this great sense of accomplishment. And I put 5 more things on that list, because you're absolutely right. It is never ending. And it is the first thing and the last thing you think about, for sure. It's another child, but more intensive almost, and sometimes.
And then and like, speaking of like the to-do list, I actually feel like, so I feel in our culture that we are, so I know that I am addicted to doing, and I think that's a cultural thing. And it's so much about doing as much as we can, being productive, achieving as much as possible, checking as many things off the list as possible. And like, for me to feel satisfied at the end of my day, it was oftentimes based in how many things I checked off the list, like how productive that I felt. And like, since I've been able to like lower my stress level these last 6 weeks, I actually have reflected a lot on doing less, and reflected a lot on actually finding some way to reward myself for checking less things off the list. Like, like maybe making it a goal to check 5 or less things off the list instead of, 10 or more things off the list, because it's just, it really starts to feel like a hamster wheel that, we're just running constantly. And then I think I forget what I'm even running towards.
Right. It's so true. And it's really great to have that pause. And I think that's a gift, that the silver lining in this whole thing is, what are we really doing this for? Why are we working so hard? Like, now it's that self-reflection time, and that rest, that winter period, so that we can really go, okay, what's my purpose? And like, feel maybe renewed and invigorated to go back out, but also with hopefully more balance, because I totally understand what you're saying. And I can completely resonate with that of, okay, I need to get the next thing done and the next thing done. And there's never a pause and a, wow, look at all I've accomplished. And like, good for me. I deserve to just hang out and drink my tea and like, look at the ocean,
and not to mention the creative inspiration that comes with that rest.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
I have, like, when I actually really take a step back and rest, like when I go on vacation and I'm like at the beach or whatever, those rest times is when I feel like I have my like creative genius moments. Like, it's not when I'm running on that hamster wheel.
Right.
So yeah, I've started to like recognize the fact that rest time is actually critical to my business, because it enables me to like continue to be the best version of myself.
Yeah. And it's so true. Like, you're like, I'm saying you, but I mean me. Like, I'm not as open and receptive when I am in my mode of doing. And when I'm open and receptive, like, that's ultimately the best creative time. And then I'm actually working less, but getting more done,
Yeah.
And it's totally counterintuitive. And I have to like really work at it and talk to myself about it, because it's like goes against every being, like fiber of my being. And I think that you're absolutely right. It's like, it's a huge cultural thing. It's definitely a huge cultural thing. Like, sometimes, and I think it might be changing a little bit, but a lot of it is, oh, how much sleep did you get? Yeah, I'm not sleeping either. Like we're like, that's sort of like a battle wounds of like, yeah, we're in it together of like exhaustion and stress. But really it doesn't have to be that way. It can be like, let's have balance and let's be healthy and be business owners.
Right. And, and I think this is actually the point that I was thinking about earlier that kind of slipped out of my mind, but it kind of, kind of circles back to this, that I feel like there's this space that's been given to everyone right now to kind of cut each other a break. Like we're all like, there's not a single person that's not affected by this situation. And we're all having to adapt and we're all having to stay home and slow down. And so I feel like, kind of figuring out my e-commerce and my curbside pickup and doing some deliveries here and there and taking more time than I would normally, because customer service is so important. It's, one of the most, highest values that Fybr. So I feel like if I take too long, then that's like compromised customer service, but I'm also getting an opportunity to slow down and not have to rush to get that thing done. Like, because customers, vendors, like everyone is just like, we're all cutting each other a break. So that's like, I think one of the beautiful things in this situation is that we're all feeling like we're being given the space to like slow down. And part of that, I'm sure, is a lot in my own head. Like I don't cut myself a break typically, right? Because I got to hurry up and get that thing done for a customer or whatever it is. But so yeah, I mean, I guess that's a big part of it too, is like, I feel like we're all cutting each other a break and therefore I'm allowed to cut myself a break.
Yeah. God, that feels good.
Yeah.
So at Fybr, you sell all these amazing products, bamboo and eucalyptus, and it's all eco-friendly. So it's doing great service to the world and the environment. So how do people connect with you now that your store is not currently open?
So we have our social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook, and I actually have some other social media that I am kind of working on, but haven't fully kind of grasp, but like Pinterest and Twitter and I kind of just try to do it all, but can't really do it all at once. And then email and phone. I've got our store line forwarded to my cell phone, so I try to answer the phone as professionally as possible. And again, everyone just is super, cutting me a break if the dog's barking in the background or whatever, there's some sort of thing going on. So yeah, I really have, and there's the website shopfybr.com, by the way, that's spelled FYBR, shopfybr.com. It's a different spelling, so I want to make sure people get that. So yeah, I mean, I do try to just continue to be as accessible as possible so that no matter where, if somebody's interested in reaching out, they're going to find us, whether it's Google or Facebook or our website or whatever.
That's awesome. And so what's your Instagram? Is it Shop Fybr as well?
Yes, at Shop Fybr. Our Facebook is also Shop Fybr. Email info@shopfybr.com. Phone number, yeah. I don't know if you want all of it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, phone number 831-423-3927.
Awesome. And so are you the one behind your website? Are you the one who's created your website?
Yes. Yeah, that being my background, that was definitely on me to build that, and I'm doing all the maintenance. But the funny thing is that it's actually because starting this retail business that was all new to me was kind of on the forefront of my mind, really, like website and e-commerce, which was my specialty, actually was lower down. Like that was I think it's maybe because it felt like something I had spent so much time doing that I kind of was really just more interested in this whole new, thing that was super exciting. And I, just wanted to be a sponge and learn all that I could.
Are you still doing other people's graphics and websites, or you're just focusing solely on Fybr?
Just Fybr.
Nice.
Yeah, I have, not much space to do anything else really.
Right. I mean, running a business is a full-time job. Having two is too much.
Yes.
Were you able to receive grant funding at all for your business?
Yeah, I did receive a grant, the EIDL grant, ended up
Nice.
being based on number of employees, not quite as much as they initially said, but I'm
Yeah.
happy, to get something. And then um, am still in process on some loans and stuff like that. And I think I'm going to be able to get a little assistance there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we really want to support you in any way that we can. So everybody, do you do curbside pickup?
We do curbside pickup. I
Awesome.
do delivery kind of within 5 miles of the shop. Uh, of course.
So if I were to come in and and you had a suggestion, it sounds like your favorite thing or one thing that you might suggest to the people who are new to your shop would be maybe if you're into exercising, the exercise leggings because they're really awesome and breathable, or the sheets for a better night's sleep.
Yes. And, really we have something at like every price point. And I feel like we have something for everyone, whether it's underwear or leggings or sheets, and everything in between.
That's so awesome. Do you have anything for pets?
For pets, good question. I actually just got a puppy from the shelter a few months back. We did have some CBD for pets, but it wasn't it wasn't actually a really hot seller. So
People are like, no, I
think
want that for myself.
Yeah, I can't think of anything offhand besides from that, but bamboo pet apparel I've seen it out there. Maybe we should start carrying it.
Nice. And since I can't check out your shop in person, I can do it online. And there's a great e-commerce site at shopfybr.com, FYBR. Is that right?
Yes. That's correct.
That's awesome. So give us another sweet fact about you that we may not know but we should.
Well, we have a blended family with 5 kids.
Wow. 5 children.
Yeah. Two, 14-year-olds, and then going all the way up to 22 years old. And we also have 2 businesses in this family. My husband started Santa Cruz Plumbing over, I don't know, maybe 13 years ago? I'm kind of losing track now. So yeah, two businesses and 5 kids, and now a new pup from the shelter. So we like to keep it active.
Oh my gosh, this has been a great bit of like respite for you, this break, which I know that you've been working really hard still, but oh my gosh, that's insane. 1 business is plenty, 2 is insane. 5 children, oh my word.
Yeah, well, like I said, they're a little bit older, so they are figuring out how to do life a little more without us needing to chase after them. Well, for now, today, anyway. It changes by the day.
So, with someone with as much experience as you in web design and graphics and business and parenting, what are some maybe some words of wisdom that you received that you thought were amazing words to live by?
Okay, this is actually a quote that has been coming up for me recently, like in multiple places. So I'm going to say this one because it definitely is resonating with me. Comparison is the thief of joy. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt that said that. And I think that it's just—
I'm writing it down. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah. And, I think that kind of says it all. I think we all have our moments where we're comparing ourselves to what others are doing, whether it's friends or, people we see on social media or other businesses or whatever it is. It's something that I just continue to try to remember that, like, I just, I think, with businesses, like social media, for example, is just one of those places that can be challenging. And I oftentimes am comparing what I'm doing with Fybr to what somebody else is doing who's been in business for 5 or 10 years when I've only been in business for maybe, a year or 2. And like, so to compare, I mean, it's just useless to compare. Like generally it's an entirely different business and they've been, doing it for much longer than I have. So, and it just brings out insecurities in me of like, I should be doing that. I'm doing it wrong. Like this sense of like failure when it's really just a waste of time. And I really just feel like, I've been getting this great lesson and, slowing down and just, finding that creative spot where I get excited and inspired and just like go with that. And the comparison is just, useless. It doesn't benefit me or Fybr. And it's really true that I think that to spend too much time in that place really does steal my joy.
Yeah. And I've been in business 12 years at Santa Cruz Core. And you know what, whether it's 2 or 12, like we all do that. And I totally agree with you. I couldn't agree more that like it definitely comparison is a thief of joy. And, I find myself getting caught up in that at times. And it's so important to just remember that we're all on our own path, and when we can,
Yeah. And just, taking that time to be still gives us an opportunity to like listen to that inner voice. That's our guide on like what's next and what to do next. And we're not going to find that information, on Instagram.
As much as we'd like to find it on Instagram, what is somebody else doing? It's like, you got to really, like you said, be quiet, reflective, receptive, and the universe will speak to you.
Something else that's been challenging for me in this is like so much noise about how to survive COVID-19. So many emails and links and articles and blogs and lists and lists of how to survive COVID-19. And like, I feel like, sometimes it's just overwhelming. I'm just like, I don't have time to like read through all of this information on how to survive COVID-19. And then the other thing that I think after that is like, how do they know how to survive COVID-19? Like,
what makes them the expert? They haven't been in this.
It's like completely overwhelming for one. And for two, it's like, that's like the when I become completely overwhelmed by it is like when I need to sort of stop and be still and like go inward and look inward for those answers, because like none of us have been through this before. None of us have survived this before. So it doesn't mean to not listen to business experts, and it doesn't mean to not take action to like protect your business and all that stuff. But like, sometimes like it's okay to like just sort of quiet all the noise and trust yourself instead of these endless resources of how to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's an endless list, and you have to really pick and choose what to listen to and who to listen to, because it can get overwhelming, and then it's diluted and polluted in your brain, and then it's like analysis paralysis instead of like, okay, moving forward.
Yes, exactly.
So, that I really like that quote, and I really like what you're saying about that. I mean, it just goes back to like breathing and staying focused on what's important to you and what your priority is. And also, one of the things that you mentioned prior to being on the program was that a lot of people, and maybe yourself, have, fear has definitely played a role in everyone's experience because, well, I mean, that sells on the news. And so one of the things that I would just want to remind everyone is, fear can be a really great acronym: false evidence appearing real. And it is counterproductive and not helpful. And so we want to remember that when we kind of get into that panic feeling or phase,
Yes, definitely.
So, well, thank you so much for coming onto our show. This is Kamala of Fybr Bamboo at 1528 Pacific, and you can reach her at her website, shopfybr.com, and on Instagram, and you can call her shop, and they will pick up the phone because she's forwarded it to her, and they're doing curbside pickup, and they've got amazing eco-friendly goods. And so we're just so grateful to have you, and thank you so much for joining us today. And until next time, we'll be here at Zoom Around Town with Jaimi Jansen. All right.
Thank you, Jaimi. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I just had a quick question for you. What is you're still waiting on the PPP loan? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
Where did you apply?
Bank of the West, which is where I have our business checking account.
And so did you get a loan number? Are you already like in that process, or are you just waiting still?
I did get a loan number. Actually, my husband's business. So is this part of the thing or no? Is this
No, I just I got
okay.
my money, and there's a small bank in Minnesota that I've been referring people to because they're super receptive and they freaking get on it fast. And I've received my money. And if I've heard local businesses haven't, I'm like, what are you doing? We need to get you money.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Jen Lee actually told me about the Minnesota Bank. So Bank of the West, I did apply with them because I already have a checking account and I figured it's an opportunity to grow my kind of banking relationship with them.
Right.
And I was told it's not a good idea to apply multiple places.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if that's true, but anyway, my husband did get funded on his PPP loan for Santa Cruz Plumbing, and it looks like I did receive some follow-up stuff from Bank of the West, so it looks like it is proceeding forward. So I think I'm going to just hang tight and see in the next week what happens with that.
Yeah, what I encourage people to do is apply a bunch of places. That's not going to hold you back. The first person that gives you the loan, then you just ignore all the other offers or tell them I already got something. But I want to make sure that all the local businesses that I know can actually get their money, because even though you're in the process, you're still in line unless you have your loan number. So there's one thing to have your loan number and just be waiting to get funded. It's another to not even have your loan number, and then maybe you're just still in line. You know what I mean? And the smaller banks have a shorter line. And so that's why I'm just encouraging people to really be proactive. So it sounds like you've got it together though. So that's good.
I think so. I think we're moving in the right direction on that. And Bank of the West, I think, has been moving slower than I think. They're just maybe they don't have their act together quite as much as some of the other banks, but
right. Yeah. The money goes really fast, but they just got more. So hopefully in the next few days, you'll get a word.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and I still am not quite wrapping my head around how to take advantage of the forgivable aspect of that loan, because if we're not open, I can't bring employees back. I'm also, I've heard that I might be able to pay myself. Right. I might be able to pay myself.
Wait, what is
which
your,
would be a first.
Yeah. What is your, are you an LLC or what's your corporation?
Yeah. We're an LLC, and I was on the payroll last summer for a couple months for, and then for just a second for less pay than my lowest paid employee. But anyway, had to take myself off, but I think I can put myself back on the payroll. So, maybe that's some way we can.
You totally could. And then you're getting paid. I think the thing about the forgiveness is that it's just so not, they don't have it together yet. It's throw money at the problem. And then they're like, wait, we have to figure this out. So, I mean, one thing to put into perspective is that sure, it's never fun to take out a loan, but in the history of your business and in my business, never, ever would I have received a 1% loan ever. It just doesn't exist. So worst case scenario, you get a 1% loan that you could give back. Okay, I'll take it, but they do offer partial forgiveness. But it's it's a shit show. I mean,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say they first said that you could include 1099 workers, and they're like, no, they can apply for their own loan. You can't include 1099 workers. You can only include employees. Okay. And now if you're not open, what do you do? The origination date starts 8 weeks from when you got the money. Well, I got the money last Thursday. So shit, what am I supposed to do? Just bring people back and have them work from home? What the
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to just have people work or not do anything.
Well, and Jason, so I told you he got his funded. He said he read through the documents, and that there was a lot of vague language in it. It may be 8 weeks, and it may be this and it may be that. So I think they kind of haven't quite figured it out. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of us in the same boat of okay, they may just make it 8 weeks from reopening, or I think they just haven't totally figured that out. So we'll have to nobody's ever been through this before.
I know. And
so
yeah. And the other thing that I was thinking is because I'm okay, at first I'm all right, I want to spend all this money, and it's not a lot, but I want to make sure I get it all forgiven. And then I was thinking about it, and my advisor was like, what happens if this comes back in January or December? If we don't know that the government's going to give us more money, we have no clue. Right? So maybe we should save some of it. And who knows, the forgiveness could change. And then, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I actually, it's funny because what I was talking about earlier when we first got on about kind of that fear setting in, and I didn't really end up talking about it much during the actual interview, but that's actually really caused me to move into like really like financial planning for the next year and come up with some like a worst case, a best case, and maybe somewhere in the middle, and then like figure out how to, how to plan based on that. And
Exactly.
a worst case being that I lose like all my summer months and my summer season and Christmas season of sales, which
Jesus.
is like,
Yeah.
well, because even if we open up, like just say we open up June 1st, which who knows if we will or we won't, like sales are not going to just be back to the way they were last
No
summer.
way.
It's going to be, it's going to be maybe cut in half or whatever. And then, and then they're saying Christmas, there's going to be a whole like surge of this thing. So there's a chance we close down again. So like, I feel like there's a possibility that we're going to be closed or lose our highest season sales for the next year. So then, so I'm starting to like really look at the big picture of what is that, how can I get through that, whatever from now until a year from now. What does that mean for like renewing my lease in 1 year? Actually, you're not going to believe this. My landlord sent me a letter of rent increase.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's the thing that set me into like this like tailspin of like what
is, I'm sorry, that's fucked up.
I actually, when we started this meeting, I was in the middle of writing an email to them. Like, I haven't sent it yet, but kind of like, is this really what you want to do right now? Because like honestly, my first like,
you should be like, guess what? I may not even be here, whether that's true or not. Like, I mean, I'm going to tell all my landlords, you better freaking decrease the rent.
It's a glorified storage unit at this point.
Right.
A very expensive storage unit. And, anybody who I've told has been in like complete shock. And I actually, the first thing I wanted to do, I was like so angry. I wanted to like call KSBW News and
you should. You should. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's so. But I'm trying to like handle it like maturely and professionally first before I
take a deep breath before you just go. Rah!
Totally, that's what my husband's good for. He like brings me down to earth. He's just like, he's less emotional than I am when it comes to business. So thank God for that.
That's really good. No, that's ridiculous. I can't even believe that.
It's
insane.
Do
you have a property manager? Or do you deal with the owner themselves?
Property manager, and it's Swenson. It's a big,
of course.
They're big.
They don't care. They don't care. I know someone who was trying to get the new building near People's Coffee and Total Fitness in Live Oak, and they have like a new building kitty corner to them, and they were going to open up this like IV clinic and everything, and really cool idea. And they're like they're wanting to do like a rent increase for 5 years, and just like they have no empathy or compassion for what's going on right now. At least it's sounding like that, and it's just too bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I feel like I probably just need to approach it as just business, like, and, I'm dealing with business people who are going to, they're not going to be human and be supportive and kind. They're going to be looking at their bottom line, so I feel like I have to sort of just respond to that. And,
yeah, but you know what? Bad press is bad press, and that could be a really good idea.
It's a good idea, except for part of the reason I hesitate to do that is actually they are, so Santa Cruz Plumbing, like they're kind of like an important customer of Santa Cruz Plumbing.
So then they're like, oh, we're just going to not, we're just going to screw you, and we're also going to screw your husband.
Yes. I mean, so I have to just be like methodical about how I handle it, but he's totally got my back. And like, he actually mentioned it to like one of his associates that works for them in a different division because he's involved in construction.
Right.
So he has a really good relationship with one of their project managers, whatever. He mentioned it to this guy, and the guy was just like, what? He's like, I'm going to say something. So
yeah, I almost think that it's like, oh, I'm the property manager and I'm just like pushing the button because that's what my job is to do. And like, you need to go to like the supervisor person and be like, hey, is this really the intention that you guys are doing? Like, I totally get it. If the economy was as good as it was like 6 weeks ago, I could have totally understand this. But given the circumstances, you might have, were you planning on having a different game plan? Because this doesn't really make sense. And like, I'd love to be here in a year, but who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Like I'm a really good tenant, and I would hope that you'd want to see us stay,
right.
When we renew in 12 months, like, that kind of thing. So yeah, I guess, yeah, it is what it is. And it's just, I kind of like, it definitely was a reality check of like my whole, like, I was calling it like a pleasant pause. I would say it definitely like,
yeah,
was like oh shit, like people, like this isn't just going to be a pleasant pause for the next year.
I know. I was like kind of not grooving, but like, okay, I'm just not going to pay my rent. And like my landlord's like, nope, you have to, like, I'm not changing anything. You have to pay. And I'm like, we're open for chiropractic and acupuncture. Those are essential services. We have a physician who does like primary care. He's essential. So we're open for that. And then we also have like online services of online personal training and group fitness, which has been great. But it's not a lot, like 90% of our business has disappeared. No massage, So it's been,
I heard something about virtual massage.
Yeah. I haven't really figured out how to do that. So
I swear I heard that. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. So I'm just going to
massage myself.
put my hands on you. Do you feel that? I can feel the energy through the screen.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Oh,
I can
so
feel
good.
it.
So good.
So I'm not really sure, but that would be what I would be thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if they wear gloves and I think if they wear a mask, like, people need body work. I mean, this is stressful. So we'll see. I mean, we've got like a freaking huge list of things that we're already doing and that we're adding, and thermometers, everyone has their own cleaning rag, limiting how many people come in, waiting in your car instead of the waiting room. All those things are happening.
Yeah. I mean, we're having to adapt, and it's interesting times. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if there's anything that we can do, we'd love to. And we'll be posting that, like, we'll edit this week. We'll probably just, like, get it out to you next week.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity. It was fun. I'm not super experienced with this, so I'm glad to have opportunities to get more comfortable.
Absolutely.
And you made it relaxing and easy too. So
cool. And if there's anyone that you think would be interested in, like, kind of just getting some free press, like, send them my way. I really want to help. And there's like in my Instagram, there's a link to just sign up.
Yeah. I also have access to like a Slack, like they created a Slack group for like downtown association members, like downtown businesses. Would you want me to maybe post it there?
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to. Anyone and everybody. Like, the whole point is to just like create a group of awareness. Like, we're only as strong as our weakest link. And if we don't have a lot of stores downtown and in Santa Cruz, then no one's going to go shopping. And like, we really have to just like boost the awareness of what we're all doing to stay relevant.
Yeah, I hear you. So what would if I was to post a little message with a blurb about what you're doing, what would be like a good little simple description?
Yeah. So I've created a video podcast called, like, Jaimi's created a video podcast, a Zoom Around Town with Jaimi. And the whole point, and, I'm a business owner, entrepreneur, and the whole point is to generate buzz and notoriety for local businesses to help them through this time, to be able to have fun, but also spread awareness of what we're doing. And that's the whole point. Like, we want to get restaurants, photographers, like whoever wants to be heard and seen during this time, we want to promote them. We're also creating a social media engagement group so that we can all engage with each other and get other people to engage with us as well. So using the technology that we have available to be, advertise, like, in a fun advertising way that doesn't cost anything.
Totally. Yes.
And then you can just
competition. That's another one. That's a good one. Community over competition.
Exactly. And then let me get you, hold on, I can get you the Zoom link and you can just like put it in your post. Hold on. taking me a minute here. So how is it over there in San Jose?
It's chill. Driving over 17 was pretty chill, and then here, like at the car dealership, I'm right now. I'm one of two people in the whole big room, like big waiting room.
Oh, nice.
And for a while it was just me.
Nice. So I put in the chat, I don't know if you have like the Zoom chat, that's the Calendly link. And they can just literally schedule, it's a 45-minute meeting, and we're going to talk about their business, how this is affecting them, how we can reach out to them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you guys content so you can put it on your website, like an interview that we did, or not, or you can put it on your social, like wherever you want to put it. And we're going to promote it as well. The whole idea is just to get you more views. That's it. And to connect and have fun.
Awesome. Yeah, it's cool. It's nice. It does feel like when I'm actually talking, I'm realizing now what I should have done with I feel like I just adjusted my window so that it might look more like I'm looking at the camera, because now you're like closer to the camera. Anyway, whatever. Live and learn. I'm just saying, I realize like when I'm having a conversation with someone like you, I like realize how much I miss it. Like I'm
It's super fun.
Yeah, like I'm gotten so used to being like isolated that like then when I have a conversation with like another woman that's, a business owner or whatever, like a customer, it's just like feels like I'm kind of like soaking it up.
Yeah, no, totally. I've done like a handful of these now, and it's just like amazing. And I'm so like filled up after, and like I tend to be more of an introvert, but like I don't know, I really just love connecting one-on-one and like hearing how I can be helpful. I love it. I just love it. So
yeah, I'm a total introvert too. So high five to that. I am. It's funny because people don't, when I tell people that, they're like, no, you're not.
You're like,
and it's like, well, just because I'm like sociable and engage in conversation and all that stuff, and I can appear to be outgoing, like I get like introverts, I think, they get energy from being alone. Extroverts get energy from being around people, and I like love to be alone. That's how my energy gets filled. So
yeah, me too. It's just it's having a balance. Like, of course, just because we're an introvert doesn't mean we like to be in social isolation all the time. It's just like that's how you fill yourself back up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I always it's so funny too, because in this process with my husband, so he's an essential worker. He's going out to work every day, but I've been mostly working from home. And then I go down to the shop like 3 days a week to like ship orders. And so like for every day that I go down to the shop for like 4 hours, like I get super excited to have a full day at home. I'm like, this is how life should be. Like I have my active days and my non-active days. And for every like 4 hours that I go out into the world, like I need a full day. To recuperate.
Yeah. It's been like
it's not very realistic.
I've been at home way more, and like I really I've been going to acupuncture too, because I want to keep my immune system boosted and just healthy, and they're like, actually you feel less stressed, and which does not make any sense because like my business is like that. But it's just like I think it's being at home. I really do. And just like being able to focus more. It's awesome.
Yeah, and probably just less stimulation from the world, like they're operating at a higher vibration or lower?
Higher vibration, but lower panic, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, well, I got to check on my car, but it was really great connecting with you.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I will pass along this information for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll send you the information soon.
All right, cool.
All right. Bye.